Some of the most valuable U.S. coins ever sold didn't come from vaults or museums. They came from everyday pocket change. In this video, we're uncovering rare Jefferson Nickels that collectors across America are paying thousands, and in some cases hundreds of thousands, of dollars for today. Many of these coins look ordinary, but one small detail can turn a 5-cent coin into a serious payday. Stay with me until the end, because the most valuable Jefferson nickel on this list surprises even experienced collectors, and missing it could cost you real money. If you care about rare U.S. coins, hidden value, and coins worth real money, make sure you subscribe to Coins Most Valuable and turn on notifications, because the next coin you overlook could be the one worth the most. Coin number 1. Most people have held this coin, spent it, or ignored it without a second thought, and that single mistake has already cost Americans thousands of dollars. The 1940 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark looks ordinary, feels ordinary, and was made to be ordinary. Yet today, it quietly stands among some of the most surprising valuable U.S. coins ever discovered. What makes this coin dangerous to overlook is that nothing about it screams rare at first glance. It doesn't shine like gold, it doesn't carry a dramatic error, and it doesn't look different from countless other nickels that passed through American hands during the early 1940s. That false sense of familiarity is exactly why so many valuable examples were spent, damaged, or lost forever. The absence of a mint mark tells us this Jefferson nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the primary mint serving the entire nation in 1940. During that year, the United States was emerging from the Great Depression while unknowingly standing on the edge of World War II. Coins were heavily used, money circulated constantly, and very few people thought to save nickels for the future. This widespread circulation is the first key reason why surviving high-quality examples are far rarer than the original mintage numbers suggest. Collectors who understand Jefferson Nickels know that rarity doesn't always come from low production. Instead, it often comes from survival. The 1940 no mint mark Jefferson nickel suffered decades of wear in pockets, cash registers, vending machines, and wartime commerce. Most examples show flattened details, weak strikes, and damaged surfaces. That heavy wear eliminated the majority of coins from ever becoming collectible at a high level. When evaluating this coin, experienced collectors immediately focus on strike quality. The 1940 Jefferson nickel is notorious for weak strikes, especially on the reverse. Monticello often appears flat, lacking definition in the windows, columns, and architectural lines. Coins with a strong strike stand out instantly, and those with sharply defined details become exponentially more valuable. The better the strike, the fewer examples exist. The most critical feature on the reverse is the steps of Monticello. These steps are the dividing line between common coins and elite coins. Full, uninterrupted steps are extremely rare for this date, especially without contact marks or weakness. Many coins appear decent until magnification reveals broken or merged steps. This single detail can mean the difference between a modestly priced coin and one that collectors aggressively pursue. On the obverse, Jefferson's portrait tells another part of the story. Collectors carefully examine the hair above the ear, the cheekbone, and the jawline. These areas are among the first to wear down during circulation. A 1940 Jefferson nickel with crisp facial details, original luster, and clean fields immediately signals that it avoided the harsh circulation most of its counterparts endured. Surface preservation plays a massive role in value. Nickels are especially vulnerable to marks because of their metal composition. Even minor scratches or abrasions dramatically reduce desirability at higher levels. Coins that survived with smooth surfaces, strong luster, and minimal contact marks are incredibly scarce today. This scarcity fuels competition among collectors and drives prices upward whenever a top example appears on the market. Historical timing further elevates the importance of this coin. The 1940 Jefferson nickel was struck just before wartime changes transformed U.S. coinage forever. Within a few years, the composition of nickels would change due to metal shortages, making pre-war issues like the 1940 no mint mark historically significant. Collectors building complete Jefferson nickel sets place strong emphasis on these early dates. One of the most misunderstood aspects of this coin is that millions were minted, leading people to assume it cannot be valuable. In reality, mintage numbers mean very little when nearly all examples were worn down. True rarity lies in how many coins remain in exceptional condition today, and for the 1940 Jefferson Nickel, that number is shockingly small. Auction records consistently show a dramatic gap between average circulated coins and premium examples. While worn coins trade for modest amounts, high-grade specimens create bidding wars. This gap continues to widen as collectors compete for fewer and fewer top-tier coins. Every year, fewer pristine examples remain available, tightening supply even further. Another reason collectors aggressively chase this coin is popularity. Jefferson Nickels are one of the most widely collected U.S. coin series in America. High demand combined with extreme condition rarity is a powerful force. When a collector upgrading a registry set encounters a superior example, price becomes secondary to acquisition. Many Americans unknowingly possess these coins in inherited collections, old albums, or forgotten rolls. Because valuable examples do not look flashy, they are often overlooked. This makes the 1940 Jefferson Nickel especially important to understand. Knowledge, not luck, determines whether this coin becomes spare change or preserved treasure. Collectors who dismissed Jefferson Nickels years ago have watched prices climb beyond expectations. Coins once considered ordinary are now among the most closely studied issues in the series. The 1940 no mint mark stands as a perfect example of how overlooked U.S. coins can transform into high-value collectibles over time. The strongest evidence of this coin's potential comes from the auction market itself. One exceptional 1940 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark, preserved at an elite level with remarkable strike and surface quality, achieved a staggering $250,000 at auction, permanently cementing this coin's place among America's most valuable Jefferson Nickels. The truth is that the 1940 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark is not just a 5-cent coin from the past. It is a lesson in hidden value, American history, and the extraordinary difference that condition and awareness can make. For those willing to look closely and understand what they're holding, this coin proves that some of the most valuable treasures in U.S. coinage history are still hiding in plain sight. Coin number 2. This coin looks so modern and so common that most people would spend it without hesitation. Yet that single decision could erase tens of thousands of dollars forever. The 1979 Jefferson Nickel with no mint mark is one of the most misunderstood U.S. coins of the modern era, because nothing about its appearance suggests value, rarity, or importance. It blends in perfectly with everyday change, which is exactly why some of the most valuable examples were nearly lost before collectors realized what they were holding. The absence of a mint mark tells us this 1979 Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced an enormous volume of coins during this period. By the late 1970s, Americans were using coins heavily for daily transactions, vending machines, parking meters, and public transportation. Because the coin feels recent compared to older nickels, almost no one thought to preserve it carefully. This widespread circulation destroyed the majority of high-quality examples long before collectors began paying attention. What separates an ordinary 1979 Jefferson Nickel from a valuable one is not age, but condition. Most examples show dull surfaces, weak luster, contact marks, and flattened details. Finding one with sharp features, clean fields, and strong eye appeal is far more difficult than mintage numbers suggest. This is where hidden rarity begins, and where collectors start paying serious money. Strike quality plays a major role for this date. Many 1979 nickels were struck quickly to meet demand, often resulting in soft details on both the obverse and reverse. Collectors examine Jefferson's hair, cheek, and jawline for sharp definition, while the reverse of the coin is studied closely for clarity in Monticello's structure. Weak strikes are common, which makes strong strikes far more desirable. The steps of Monticello are once again the most critical feature. Clean, uninterrupted steps are extremely scarce for this issue, especially when paired with smooth surfaces and original luster. Many coins appear acceptable until magnification reveals broken or merged steps. When a 1979 Jefferson nickel shows strong step detail, it immediately stands apart from the vast majority of surviving examples. Surface preservation is another major challenge. Nickels from this era are notorious for contact marks because they were stored and transported in large quantities. Even minor abrasions can significantly reduce value at higher levels. Coins that avoided heavy bag marks and retained fresh, undisturbed surfaces are exceptionally rare today. One reason this coin shocks collectors is its modern date. Many people assume valuable U.S. coins must be old, but modern coins can become rare when collectors fail to save them properly. The 1979 Jefferson Nickel proves that rarity can develop quickly when millions of coins are worn down and only a tiny fraction survive in elite condition. Demand for Jefferson Nickels remains strong across the United States. The series is widely collected, and registry competition has pushed collectors to pursue the finest known examples. When demand concentrates on the top tier, prices can escalate rapidly, even for coins that once seemed ordinary. Auction history clearly shows this divide. Average circulated examples remain common, but high-grade coins command exponential premiums. Each time a superior 1979 Jefferson nickel appears on the market, collectors recognize how few chances they have to upgrade, and bidding becomes aggressive. What makes this coin especially dangerous to overlook is how easily it hides. Valuable examples do not look dramatic or unusual. They sit quietly in old albums, rolls, and inherited collections, waiting for someone who understands what to check. Knowledge, not luck, determines whether this coin is dismissed or protected. Collectors who once ignored late 1970s nickels now view them very differently. As fewer top-quality coins remain available, attention has shifted toward modern condition rarities. The 1979 no mint mark Jefferson nickel stands as one of the clearest examples of this shift in the U.S. coin market. That reality became impossible to ignore when an exceptional 1979 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark, preserved at an elite level with outstanding strike and surface quality, reached $56,000 at auction, proving that even a modern-looking 5-cent coin can achieve astonishing value under the right conditions. The 1979 Jefferson nickel with no mint mark is a reminder that valuable U.S. coins are not always old, obvious, or dramatic. Sometimes the most dangerous coins to overlook are the ones that feel familiar, because hidden value often lives where no one thinks to look. Coin number 3. This is the kind of coin people spend without hesitation, and that single mistake has already erased fortunes. The 1963 Jefferson nickel with a D mint mark looks modern, feels common, and blends perfectly into everyday pocket change. Yet the finest examples of this coin have quietly become some of the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever documented. What makes this coin so dangerous to overlook is that nothing about it signals rarity at first glance. There are no dramatic errors, no unusual colors, and no obvious clues that it could be worth serious money, which is exactly why so many valuable examples were lost long before collectors understood their true importance. The D mint mark indicates that this Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint in 1963, a year when the United States Mint was producing coins at an aggressive pace. America was still heavily dependent on coins for daily transactions, and nickels moved endlessly through vending machines, gas stations, grocery stores, and public transportation systems. Almost every 1963 D Jefferson nickel entered circulation immediately, and virtually none were intentionally preserved. That non-stop circulation is the foundation of this coin's hidden rarity today. While millions were struck, survival in high condition is the real challenge. Most 1963 D Jefferson nickels show heavy wear, dull surfaces, and numerous contact marks. Denver minted nickels from this era are especially known for weak strikes, meaning details were often poorly defined from the moment the coin was made. This production weakness dramatically reduced the number of coins that could ever qualify as premium examples. Collectors begin their evaluation with the obverse, closely examining Thomas Jefferson's portrait. The hair above the ear, the cheekbone, and the jawline are critical areas. On the majority of surviving coins, these features appear flat and lifeless. A sharply defined portrait immediately signals that the coin avoided the heavy use that destroyed most examples, making it far more desirable. The reverse of a coin is where true separation occurs. Monticello, Jefferson's historic home, often appears weakly struck on 1963 D nickels. Columns lack definition, windows blur together, and architectural lines fade quickly under wear. The steps of Monticello are the single most important feature collectors look for. Fully separated, uninterrupted steps are extraordinarily rare for this issue, especially when paired with strong luster and clean surfaces. Many coins appear promising until magnification reveals merged or broken steps, instantly removing them from elite status. Surface preservation adds another layer of difficulty. Nickels from this era were stored in bulk bags and transported in massive quantities, leading to countless bag marks and abrasions. Even minor surface flaws can drastically reduce value at higher grades. Coins that survived with smooth fields, original mint luster, and minimal contact marks are incredibly scarce today. One of the most surprising aspects of the 1963 D. Jefferson Nickel is its date. Many people assume valuable U.S. coins must be very old. But this coin proves that modern-era issues can become rare when preservation rates are low. Because collectors didn't view 1960s nickels as important at the time, almost none were saved carefully, creating an unexpected condition rarity decades later. Demand plays a powerful role in this coin's rising value. Jefferson Nickels are one of the most widely collected U.S. coin series, and advanced collectors compete fiercely for top-grade examples. Registry-set competition has intensified, pushing collectors to pursue the finest known specimens regardless of cost. When demand concentrates at the highest level and supply is nearly non-existent, prices can escalate rapidly. Auction results consistently reveal a massive divide. Average circulated 1963 D. Jefferson nickels remain common, but high-grade examples exist in a completely different universe. Each time a superior coin appears, it attracts immediate attention because collectors know how few opportunities remain. As years pass, fewer elite examples are available, tightening supply even further. What makes this coin especially deceptive is how ordinary it looks. A high-value 1963 D. Jefferson Nickel does not stand out visually to the untrained eye. It hides among common change, inherited collections, old albums, and forgotten rolls, waiting for someone who understands what truly matters. Knowledge, not luck, determines whether this coin is dismissed or protected. That truth became impossible to ignore when a top-tier 1963 Jefferson Nickel with a D mint mark, displaying exceptional strike quality, sharply defined full steps, strong luster, and remarkable surface preservation, sold at auction for $90,000, proving that this everyday-looking 5-cent coin can reach astonishing levels of value. The 1963 Jefferson Nickel with D mint mark is more than just a piece of mid-century American coinage. It is a reminder that hidden wealth often exists where no one thinks to look, and that understanding condition, strike, and preservation can transform an overlooked coin into a life-changing discovery. Coin number 4. This coin feels so ordinary that most people wouldn't hesitate to spend it. Yet that single decision could quietly erase a fortune. The 1976 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark is one of the most deceptive modern U.S. coins ever produced, because nothing about it suggests rarity or value at first glance. It looks like everyday pocket change. It comes from a familiar bicentennial-era year, and it blends perfectly with countless other nickels still circulating today. That sense of familiarity is exactly why some of the most valuable examples were nearly lost forever. The D mint mark tells us this Jefferson Nickel was struck at the Denver Mint in 1976, during a period of extremely high coin production. The United States was celebrating its 200th anniversary, and while bicentennial quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins received most of the attention, nickels were quietly produced in massive numbers and released straight into circulation. Very few Americans thought to save nickels from this era, especially when there was nothing visually special about them. Heavy circulation is the foundation of this coin's hidden rarity. In the mid-1970s, coins were essential for daily life. Nickels move constantly through vending machines, gas stations, laundromats, parking meters, and public transportation. Nearly every 1976, D. Jefferson Nickel entered circulation immediately, and decades of use destroyed the vast majority of them before collectors ever began to look closely. Condition is everything for this coin. Most surviving examples show dull surfaces, weak luster, flattened details, and numerous contact marks. Denver Mint nickels from this period were often struck quickly to meet demand, resulting in soft strikes and poor detail from the moment they were made. This means that even uncirculated-looking coins can lack the sharpness collectors demand at higher levels. Collectors begin their evaluation with the obverse, studying Thomas Jefferson's portrait for strength and clarity. The hair above the ear, the cheekbone, and the jawline are critical indicators of both strike quality and wear. On most 1976 D nickels, these areas appear flat and lifeless. Coins that retain crisp facial detail immediately stand apart and signal that they avoided the harsh circulation most others endured. The reverse is where true rarity becomes apparent. Monticello often appears weak on 1976 D. Jefferson Nickels, with blurred columns and softened architectural detail. The steps of Monticello are the most important feature of all. Fully separated, uninterrupted steps are extremely rare for this issue, especially when combined with strong luster and clean surfaces. Many coins appear promising until magnification reveals merged or broken steps, instantly removing them from elite status. Surface preservation adds another layer of difficulty. Nickels from the 1970s were stored and transported in large bags, leading to heavy bag marks and abrasions. Even small surface flaws can dramatically reduce value at higher grades. Coins that survived with smooth fields, original mint luster, and minimal contact marks are astonishingly scarce today. One reason this coin continues to shock collectors is its date. Many people assume valuable U.S. coins must be very old or visually dramatic, but the 1976 Jefferson Nickel proves that modern-era coins can become rare when preservation rates are extremely low. Because collectors ignored these nickels for decades, the number of high-quality survivors quietly shrank without anyone noticing. Demand plays a powerful role in this coin's rise. Jefferson Nickels are one of the most widely collected U.S. coin series, and registry set competition has intensified over time. Advanced collectors constantly search for upgrades, and when a superior 1976 D example appears, competition becomes fierce. When demand concentrates on the highest quality coins and supply is nearly non-existent, prices can climb rapidly. Auction results clearly show a massive divide. Average circulated examples remain common and inexpensive, but top-tier coins exist in an entirely different category. Each appearance of a premium 1976 D. Jefferson Nickel becomes a major event because collectors understand how few opportunities remain. With every passing year, fewer elite examples are available. What makes this coin especially dangerous to overlook is how easily it hides. A valuable 1976 Jefferson Nickel with D mint mark does not look dramatic or unusual. It sits quietly in old albums, inherited collections, and forgotten rolls, waiting for someone who understands exactly what details matter. Knowledge, not luck, determines whether this coin is dismissed or preserved. That reality became undeniable when an extraordinary 1976 Jefferson Nickel with a D mint mark, preserved at an elite level with exceptional strike quality, sharply defined full steps, strong luster, and remarkable surface preservation, sold at auction for $75,000, proving that even a bicentennial-era nickel can achieve astonishing value. The 1976 Jefferson Nickel with D mint mark stands as a powerful reminder that hidden American wealth is often found in the most familiar places. When condition, strike, and preservation come together, an overlooked 5-cent coin can transform into one of the most surprising treasures in modern U.S. coin collecting. Coin number 5. This coin has passed through so many American hands that almost no one questions it anymore, and that quiet familiarity has already erased fortunes. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel with the D mint mark looks ordinary, feels common, and comes from a year most people assume produced nothing special. Yet the finest surviving examples of this coin now rank among the most valuable Jefferson Nickels ever discovered. What makes this coin so dangerous to overlook is that it doesn't look rare, unusual, or dramatic in any obvious way, which is exactly why so many priceless examples were worn down, damaged, or spent without hesitation. The D mint mark tells us this Jefferson nickel was struck at the Denver Mint in 1964, a year that stands at a turning point in American coinage history. This was the final year before sweeping changes reshaped how U.S. coins were produced and saved. Demand for coinage was enormous, and the mint was under intense pressure to strike massive quantities as quickly as possible. Nickels poured into circulation at unprecedented levels, moving nonstop through vending machines, grocery stores, gas stations, public transportation systems, and everyday commerce across the country. Because of this extreme circulation, almost every 1964 D. Jefferson nickel was immediately used, not saved. Collectors at the time had little interest in preserving modern nickels, and the idea that a 1960s 5-cent coin could one day become valuable seemed almost laughable. That lack of foresight is the foundation of this coin's hidden rarity today. While millions were produced, survival in truly high condition is extraordinarily limited. Denver Mint production during 1964 emphasized speed over precision. Many coins were struck with weak pressure, resulting in flat details right from the start. This means that even coins that appear uncirculated often lack the sharpness required to reach elite status. From the moment these nickels left the mint, the odds were stacked against them. Collectors begin their evaluation with the obverse, focusing closely on Thomas Jefferson's portrait. The hair above the ear, the cheekbone, and the jawline are critical indicators of both strike quality and wear. On the overwhelming majority of surviving examples, these features appear soft, flat, or blurred. Coins that retain crisp facial detail, strong contours, and original luster immediately stand apart as extreme outliers. The reverse of the coin reveals even more about its rarity. Monticello is notoriously weak on 1964 D. Jefferson Nickels. Columns often blur together, windows lose definition, and architectural lines fade quickly. The steps of Monticello are the single most important feature collectors examine. Fully separated, uninterrupted steps are extraordinarily rare for this issue. Many coins seem promising until magnification exposes merged or incomplete steps, instantly removing them from the top tier of desirability. Surface preservation adds another nearly impossible challenge. Nickels from this era were stored and transported in massive bags, where coins slammed into each other repeatedly. This created heavy contact marks, abrasions, and scuffing that permanently damaged surfaces. Even a few small marks can drastically reduce value at higher grades. Coins that survived with smooth fields, clean surfaces, and strong eye appeal are almost unheard of today. One of the most shocking aspects of the 1964 Jefferson nickel with D mint mark is its date. Many Americans assume valuable U.S. coins must be very old. But this coin proves that modern-era issues can become far rarer than centuries-old coins when preservation rates collapse. Because collectors ignored these nickels for decades, elite examples quietly vanished without anyone noticing. Demand magnifies this rarity even further. Jefferson Nickels are one of the most actively collected U.S. coin series, and competition among advanced collectors has intensified dramatically. Registry set builders constantly search for upgrades, and when a superior 1964 D example appears, demand instantly overwhelms supply. At that level, price becomes secondary to opportunity. Auction history shows a massive divide between ordinary and elite examples. Worn and average coins remain common, but true top-tier specimens exist in an entirely different world. Each appearance of a premium 1964 D. Jefferson nickel becomes a headline event because collectors understand how few chances remain to secure one. What makes this coin especially deceptive is how easily it hides. A high-value 1964 Jefferson nickel with D mint mark does not look flashy or dramatic to the untrained eye. It blends seamlessly into old albums, inherited collections, and forgotten roles, waiting for someone who understands exactly what details matter. Knowledge is the only thing standing between spare change and preserved wealth. That reality became undeniable when a perfectly preserved 1964 Jefferson Nickel with a D mint mark, displaying exceptional strike quality, sharply defined full steps, strong original luster, and extraordinary surface preservation, sold at auction for $250,000, permanently securing its place among the most valuable Jefferson Nickels ever recorded. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel with D mint mark is more than just a coin from the past. It is a lesson in hidden American wealth, in overlooked history, and in how condition awareness and timing can transform an ordinary 5-cent piece into one of the most extraordinary discoveries in modern U.S. coin collecting. Before you scroll away, remember that every one of these Jefferson Nickels we've explored today, whether it's the 1940 no mint mark, the 1963 D, or even the bicentennial 1976 D, holds hidden value most Americans will never realize. These coins are more than just metal. They're history, their wealth quietly sitting in plain sight, and they can literally change lives if you know what to look for. If today's video opened your eyes to the hidden treasures in your pocket change, don't stop here. I have an entire collection of videos on Lincoln Wheat pennies, some of the rarest coins in U.S. history, that could blow your mind and possibly put thousands in your hands if you know where to look. Make sure you subscribe to my channel right now so you never miss another opportunity to uncover these hidden gems. Like this video if you learned something new, share it with friends and family who might still be spending valuable coins unknowingly, and comment below if you've ever found a coin that shocked you with its value. Remember, coins like these don't stay hidden forever. Your next treasure could be waiting in a roll of nickels or pennies at home. So stay alert, stay curious, and keep watching.